Hey everybody, my name's It's Beefman, and I'm doing another new thing. This time, I'm just interviewing different people from around the Splatoon community. And today, I have one of my friends and a part of the Sea Mary Grand Fleet, Swaggy.
Hello. I'm Swaggy, captain of Blue Maritime, which is a Div 9-ish team in the competitive scene.
Well, that's cool. So, let's start first with okay, first of all, let me first apologize to everyone because I'm new to the interviewing thing, this interviewing thing. I don't usually do this, but hopefully I'll get better over time because I hope to do more stuff like this and that'd be just fun to do. And so let's proceed with the actual interview now. So, Swaggy, what what originally got you into Splatoon?
Oh, um, so I was gifted Splatoon 3 for Christmas by one of my friends, and he was like, "Hey, you should play Splatoon. Like, here's your Christmas gift." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I haven't played this game before. I haven't played any game in the franchise before. Like, let's play." I had a lot of fun. I thought the game was really interesting. Um, and then eventually he told me that he was like he figured out, oh yeah, do you know you could play Splatoon competitively? I'm like, what? Don't you have to be like on a whole esports team? He's like, no, you could just do it, on Discord. There are loads of servers. You can get into a team. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And he joined a team and he seemed to be having a lot of fun. So I asked him, hey, can I try this competitive thing out? What can I do? How do I do it? He showed me the servers. He showed me how to look. Um, but I think from the beginning, the thing that really enticed me was being a captain of my own, having like my own community that I created. And I think that that's a lot part of the reason why I not only started competitive, but I'm still in competitive. I love having um this like opportunity and this community that is centered around my team and the Sea Mary Grand Fleet. And it's just been such an amazing experience. So yeah, that's basically how I got into competitive.
Uh, you talk about some of the stuff that got you into competitive, but like what gameplay wise do you like about Splatoon? What like
Like the fundamentals of the game, or do you mean like something more advanced?
it doesn't matter. Just talk about the game. What 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 made you want to play competitively? Was it like a weapon? Like for me, I know I wanted to start playing competitively because of Wiper. I love Wiper and it's grown more to the love of the Splatana class.
Hmm.
But
For
that's
me,
me.
hmm for me, um, it was the Flingza roller that was the weapon I played when I first started playing. I do play it too. Just I don't play it competitively because it's really, really tricky to fit into team comps. Um but that was the weapon I loved. It was the reason I loved it. I thought it was such an interesting way to deal damage and pain. And then obviously swimming in ink is not something you see in every other shooter game. Um, and I was like, I used to play a lot of first person shooters, first person hero shooters like um, Overwatch, Valorant, and those games are fun and all, but Splatoon 3 just adds another layer of like not only complexity to what you personally can do, but it also adds a lot of um, just like enjoyment. I don't know if that's um if that's too vague, but like, in a game like Valorant, right? You have to, be really good at aiming. You have to know all these technicalities to be very good. But Splatoon, you don't have to do that. If you don't want to use a charger, just pick up a roller and swing it everywhere, and you're gonna be just as effective as other players. And I think it's the fact that there's a really low skill floor for Splatoon, which means it's accessible to a lot of people. But there's also a really, really high skill ceiling, which means that you can get into the game, perform well, but if you want the best, you have to put in that work. And that goal that I have to become better, like all the way back then with the Flingza, it's like I want to get really good at this weapon. It's so cool. Even now that I wouldn't say it's my main, I don't play it much anymore. It's outside of like casual games. Um, it's just that that's like why I just fell in love with this game, and that's why I'm playing it competitively now.
That is, I agree with you with most of that. That was a good reason I fell in love with the game. It was just like there are so many weapons you could play, right? And it's
Uh,
like you were saying, if you're not good with one, it doesn't mean you're not good with all of them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just really enjoyable. And even if you don't enjoy it, like me, I'm now trying to learn how to play Stamper, and I didn't originally enjoy playing Stamper. I'm not learning how to play it because I don't enjoy it anymore. I found interest in it when I don't know why, but I started playing it again, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is really fun. I gotta start playing this more, and I'm playing Stamper now. Now, this
mhm.
stream isn't just about this interview, and I'm pretty sure I told you this beforehand. The the preliminary rounds of Worlds are coming up. Who do you think is gonna win?
Ooh, okay. This is a really interesting question because um I I haven't been keeping up too very much with the highest level of Splatoon competitive, but personally, I think Jackpot, from what I've seen, I might be biased, but um, I think Jackpot has a really good chance, and they're who I'm putting my money on. Um, but all of the teams are full of very, very skilled individuals, and I'm sure all of them will be able to put up a good fight and a good performance. And to whatever team wins, I am glad that they were able to, have such a great achievement. My money's on Jackpot. Um, who do you think is gonna win, B?
Obviously, I have to go with Jackpot. Like, they're from here. Also, they did beat some of, like, when they won, they beat some of the best team, one of the best team, Starburst, which was considered to be, like, the best team at the time. But during that time, I think it was, like, towards a shift in, like, the competitive scene where all the, like, the tippy top, not where we are, at the tippy top, where the gap of skill isn't really that much. Like, there isn't going to be one dominant team. The dominant team is literally going to switch depending on the tournament. And that, I feel, is why. And then also, NA has been the working way harder to get to the level of top levels players in Japan. And I feel like they could pull it off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the thing it's because Splatoon's popularity in Japan has almost given Japanese players like, well, I wouldn't say like a boost, but the competitive scene in Japan is much more profound and diverse in terms of skill levels and just like how um mechanically complex, certain players, like certain actions that they can perform are. So I just think it's really inspiring to have players from North America going against players from Japan because the metas in these two different regions are very different. Like in North America, we were like, yo, pencil's kind of good before Japan kind of caught on. And then that kind of, shaped how the metas kind of changed because we knew pencil's been good for a while. Um, they didn't catch on quite yet. And I think it's also going to be interesting to see what team comps these teams will be running because obviously pencil's really good. We're going to see a lot of pencils here, but I just think it's going to be interesting because, this region does this region does this, why? It's also going to be something to assess and analyze. And, as a competitive player, I'm always looking for like little tips and tricks that can help me and my team so it's just gonna be a cool experience. I'm happy that I'm gonna be able to watch it. I'm definitely gonna check it out. But yeah, jackpot 777 for the win. So yeah,
Man, it really sucks that it starts at 12 o'clock in the morning.
unfortunately, but yeah, oh well.
I will also be streaming tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the morning. Well, technically in 2 days at 12 o'clock in the morning, but I'm going to start the stream earlier, so it will be tomorrow and probably around the same time. So hop in if you're not doing anything. Next question. So I've known you for a bit now. It hasn't been like a year or anything, but it's been a bit. What do you think since we've initially started talking? What do you think, or since you initially started playing, what do you think the best part of comp is?
Oh, this is easy. It's 100% the people and the community that you meet. Um, I've met a lot of people through competitive. I've met some people that, I consider to be some of my close friends through competitive because in the competitive scene, we all share one common um trait. We all love Splatoon so much that we wanna we wanna play it competitively, you know, because uh we just all love this game so much, and it's just so it's this community is also really nice. Um, I'm sure you've seen memes or something that's like, oh yeah, the Overwatch community is so toxic. This community is really nice. It has its ups and downs. It has its flaws. It has its its really great things. But it's just the fact that you know almost everyone and anyone is welcome, and it's just been such a comfortable place because before competitive Splatoon, I always felt like I didn't have anyone in my life that I could really be me around, not even some of my family members. But with the people I've met doing the things that I love to do, I've just been able to be myself, There's nothing to hide. And that's been like the best part, just being able to be myself around people that I enjoy. So for me, that's the best part of competitive.
Good answer. Really good answer. Now, I'm also going to answer this question because I feel like it's a good question just to answer. And then it'll get people to know a little bit more about me. My favorite part about it is trying to improve, basically, and watching yourself improve. Because, like, when you start out, I remember when I started out in Splatoon 2 and I was playing, I was like awful. Like now I play sticks personally and I'm going to stick with sticks probably until the end of my competitive career because that coincides with my goal. But like when I see my when I think about myself when I first started and where I am now, I just like it makes me feel good about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I get that. Like, um, it's just it's like good to um just feel yourself improving. Like old habits that you used to have, you don't do anymore. Hey, I don't know. Because when I first started playing, like I remember I would just like roll around with the Fleetzer roller because I just thought it was fun and I thought, oh yeah, this is definitely the best way to paint the map. I just roll around. It's a called a roller. I bet you roll. And then, obviously later I learned with Flingza, you want to do its vertical flick, its jump flick to paint better and it has more impact. And I don't roll around like that anymore. And that's like kind of a bad example. But it's those little things that you used to do that you don't do anymore. Or these new things that you've adopted because um they're better for, you and your team and whatever you're trying to do in competitive. That's also, I agree with you. That's also one nice thing about it, just seeing yourself get better. Um, yeah, because um once my team scrimmed, like this is like when we first started out, we were all new. We were not at the level we were at today. We went against this team in like some in a tournament that was unfiltered. So we went up against like a Div 5 team and we got, but it was also a good experience because it showed us a lot of the flaws in what we were doing. And then now recently, I got a message from the captain of that team, and um, we scrimmed the captain coaches another team that's around our level. We scrimmed them, and then um, they told me, "Wow, you guys have really improved." And just hearing that was just like a shock. It's like, wow, because the last time this person saw us, we were like at the bottom of the barrel. We didn't know what we were doing, but now we've come so far, and there's still a long way to go too. Yeah.
so I know you're about to compete in low ink coming up soon.
Yeah.
What's your plan for that?
Flowing. Okay. So, um, this past month, my team's just been working on reinforcing and improving upon the good things and the good habits that we've already built in order to be at our best for lowing because you know I don't want us to I want us to be able to do our best. So my plan is to just go there and try our hardest. However we place, if we do really good or if we don't do so good, all of that is going to be a great learning experience. We don't do too good. Okay, well, we can review those games, look at, okay, maybe someone pushed up here too much. Maybe someone didn't pop a special when they could have. And if we do really good, we can watch the games, see what we did right, and still use that to our advantage. I'm not, my team isn't playing in low ink just because, oh my God, low ink, so cool, let's play. We're also doing it because it's competitive experience and, um, you know, it's gonna be we're all excited. It's gonna be a fun time. It's just gonna be a good experience. It's gonna be something new that we haven't done before.
Harbor Freight knows about
Whoa,
loan debt.
there's an ad on my TV.
DIYers.
Anyways, my bad. Next question. I was gonna say something. All right, how do you think the competitive community can improve?
That's a tough question. Um, I'm sure, like whoever's watching this, that if you're immersed in the competitive community, um, we have been discussing the banning and um some restrictions on some weapons and specials used in certain ways. And I think that that's healthy because um it's always good to make sure everyone is fair. And if a weapon pencil is so overly oppressive in the community that, every backline player ever has to run pencil just because there's no other option that comes close to its usefulness, that's not really healthy because um I'm gonna use an example here. In Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Meta Knight was just busted that at the top of the competitive community, there was no reason to pick anybody else. It doesn't matter if you were a one trick. It doesn't matter if this is the character you love and if hundreds of hours on the game into because Mennonite was just that good. People could pick up Mennonite and use him effectively with no skill. That's something I want to touch on. Um, some weapons take more skill to use, and some weapons take less skill to use. And that's just the nature of any game that has, you can pick your weapons, pick your characters. And in the Splatoon competitive scene, it's always gonna be the top tiers have always been weapons that are just really, really cheap. Like pencil, almost anyone can pick it up, and with a few hours of practice, you can use it very effectively. Same thing goes for the splatter shot. Same thing goes for a lot of the top tier squeezer. Um, just and I feel like putting more restrictions on those weapons that are really, really um just unfair to play against almost is a step in the right direction. I don't think it's the perfect solution. I don't think it's the best solution, but it's a solution that overall makes playing competitive a just a better experience for everyone. And there are going to be pencil mains and there are going to be Kraken mains that are going to be like affected by this. And that's something that's not good for them because let's say I've been playing pencil before it became meta. Pencil's your weapon. You love pencil. And then now all of a sudden you can't use it in tournaments. I know the pencil has an alternate kit, and the alternate kit's not that bad, but outside of the 5H kit, pencil loses a lot of its relevancy, which is just really disheartening for those players. So that's why I don't think it's like the best solution we could have imposed. But I think it's a step in the right direction.
I feel like the other kit is really good, and people would genuinely use it if the other kit didn't have cooler. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a good kit. Rain has improved a little bit because of this patch, but it's like, what am I saying? Oh my goodness. But it's still a good kit, and it's one of the few weapons that have two good kits in my opinion that work well with it. It's just you don't really see the other one because pencil is so oppressive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, it's also why I think weapon kits are a little bit silly. That's a topic for another time, but um I think if the vanilla Snipe Rider gets banned, obviously Snipe Rider mains are gonna have to pick up the other one. But I feel what I don't want is for them to like just like like pencil and it just disappears. In a perfect world, Nintendo would like nerf pencil. That way it would be more on tune with other weapons instead of being so stupidly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a lot of patches, it's been a lot of complaining, and we're getting nowhere. So I see why um the Tournament Organizers Guild is like, they're finally cracking down on it because as we get closer and closer to Splatoon 3's, like the end of Splatoon 3's life, the end of the patch cycle, if that comes and goes without pencil being changed at all, then pencil doesn't get changed in the last patch, and now we're scrambling to like ban pencil, or do something. I can see why they're doing it now. Um, so overall, I do think banning pencil is like needed. Like once again, not the best solution, but I think it's what we have to do at this point.
So I'm gonna be 100% with you. I don't even think pencil is the biggest problem right now. I feel like it is a big problem. Don't get me wrong, but Tacticooler is a good special. But I don't feel like this would be as bad if Trizuka like what isn't as good as it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, there are for sure like a ton of not a ton. It's literally just Zuka. Zuka is wild in its power. Zuko doesn't even get its power from being able to one shot. It gets its power from being a really fast kill option and being a direct counter to other specials. Specials in this game feel good when there is a lot of counterplay and ways to counter it. Because if you have a sniper that just like it just like the tap shot just like a one shot, it's like wait, what's the point of using it in backline? Why don't you just push up with it? You one shot everything. And that's a really bad example, but that goes in hand to Zuka. Zuka has a lot of range. It's a long range aggressive special. But, once again, if one shot's in close range, it's a really good panic option. It shreds Crab Tank. It destroys every other special. It shreds Booyah. It kills Strikes. It can kill Jet. It can shred Crab. It can do so much. And it also goes hand in hand with the like divide in power of specials. Like there's a lot of specials that are really good, and then there are a lot of specials that are just underwhelming. This is your Reef Splatter, Stamp, um your
Wavebreaker.
Splashdown, Wave Breaker, Bubbler. These are all specials that are just underwhelming compared to the top tiers. And it's this special divide that also makes Zuka worse because it essentially obliterates anything. Zuka is good on any weapon. Any weapon would be okay with a Zuka. Like, it's crazy. It's just to have something that's just so good on any weapon, every weapon. You can throw Zuka on Sploosh, that'd be amazing. You can throw Zuka on E-liter, it'd be amazing. It's just the fact that Zuka is just it's in a league of its own. And then obviously Crab Tank is also really good, but Zuka counters Crab Tank, so you know.
I don't think Crab Tank is like as bad as it was at the beginning of the game, its lifespan. And if I'm being honest, I'd love to see like crab meta again, but like with all of the kits we have now, because there are so many. Like I feel like the Neo or Stamper Nouveau would see some use, but it's too late for that. We'll never know.
Hmm.
Let's get into a really fun question. Now, you were talking about the divide in weapons. So, like your stamps and all that other reef sliders and all of that. How would you buff it to be more fun but also more viable? So, like how they did with Wavebreaker. Wavebreaker didn't like fix the thing, but it was unique buff. You know what I'm saying? How would you do something like that to make it more viable with one of them?
Right? Okay. So, um, the way Nintendo usually goes about buffing is that they don't always address the issue as to why something is considered bad or unuseful. And I don't think that's always the right way, but I can see their point of view why they might want to do that because um the whole point of reef sliders, you go in really fast, but you have to wait a little bit before it can move after the explosion. And I guess they don't want the special to lose that like identity. That's why they won't give it no end lag, which would just make reef sliders so much more better and so much more healthy. Um, I think Nintendo's reluctant to change specials, which isn't always nice. But if I were to buff, let's say Wavebreaker, because you were talking about Wavebreaker. The main reason Wavebreaker is kind of weak is because of how easy it is to one, dodge the waves, and two, just shred the Wavebreaker. Object Shredder Stamper deletes that thing in like so quickly. It makes it special almost like it makes it special useless if you have the Object Shredder Stamper or just two people are shooting it at once. And how I would change it is that um I would make I would just make it harder to dodge almost. Like I would make the waves that come out unpredictable. Like they change their timings. So you have to do a short jump to get over this one. Now you have to do a big jump. I would change the length of the waves. Like you need to jump really high, be in the air for a long time. That way this wave doesn't hit you. You need to jump a little bit. And we can still keep three waves coming out. It doesn't have to be any more than that. But I feel like this variation would make players think more about how they have to jump for the wave because most people they just do three hops and call it a day or they just shoot the thing. And then there's also the fact that even if you do get hit with a wave, the whole point is to mark you. But I feel like a lot of the reason why things are really weak is because there's no sense of lethality. Like Dart, it's a really it's a really it's a really hard sub to use in the sense that when you throw it out, you have it doesn't line up to your reticle first of all, which means you have to adjust your aim. It bounces off walls. You can account for that, and it's just a really interesting special idea because if you give it to a backline, it has so much range. A backline can now use its sub, to help increase its damage and poking potential, and I think it's really cool. But it only does like what 40 damage. That's insanely low for a sub that takes so much mechanical use to like use effectively. Like, and I know this is partly because of, your bullets come out of the camera and the dart comes out of your hand, but I feel like there's really no better way to implement this, like at all. The first thing I would do for dart is I would just make it do more damage and I would give it a bigger hitbox when you're throwing it just to give some margin for error because that thing is like pinpoint, it's hard to aim. I That's what I would do. Maybe up the damage, maybe maybe to like 60 burst bomb damage, maybe 55 or 50. Just give it some lethality because the reason why flat bomb and suction are good is because if you are next to it, you will die. You need to back up. And if Dart gave a similar sense of, oh yeah, you get hit by this, there's a really good chance you're gonna die. The backline can just shoot you. The backline can just snipe you. You need to back up because it does a lot of damage. That would just help the sub out so much. A lot of weapon kits would be way more viable. It's kind of I don't know. Those are some changes I would make. I think these are rudimentary changes that almost anyone would be like, yeah, this would be a good change.
Hmm.
Um, and that's why I'm kind of upset with the state of the game's balance because a lot of changes everyone feels would just be really simple and really easy. And I know not all of us are game developers. Not all of us know how to make a game or code a game, and it probably take a lot of work to make these changes. But like, is there really nothing Nintendo could do? Um, I don't know. But yeah, that those are changes I'd make to like a sub and special.
Which is, well, it's a good thing you mention that because patch notes are coming out soon. Next week, sometime probably, because it's the middle of the month. That's usually when they come out. So Be ready for that. Now, that was a lot of negativity for a little bit. So, what is your favorite weapon? Like not just main weapon because we know that's fling so, but like weapon including like the sub and special. Like, what's your favorite kit in the game? Which one do you play for fun?
What weapon do I play for fun?
Yeah.
Um, I really like the light tetradulies because throwing a weapon that is so nimble with the Zipcaster is just perfect. But one thing I don't like is, obviously it has Sprinkler. Sprinkler is actually not the worst fit for the weapon ever. Sprinkler gets a lot of hate. Oh my god, Sprinkler's so bad. Sprinkler allows it to do a lot of things, which is really nice. But this is more of just like me preference. This kit isn't like objectively fun. It's just it's just a kit I like to play. I just like zipping around and rolling around. It makes me feel very fast. That's just what I like to play. It's fun. I also really like playing Splash. I don't know. I've always loved Splash. I'm like almost a 5-star Splash. Really fun. I love throwing burst bomb combos with the main weapon and with Crab. And I know this weapon is like, oh my god, Crab meta Splash. So you know, I don't know. I've always liked Splash, even outside of competitive. I played it before I got into comp. I'm playing it now, and even if I'm done with comp and I'm still playing Splatoon, I'll probably still play Splash because it's just one of the weapons I just like playing.
Relatable. All right. You get free reign to make your own new weapon type. Explain it to me.
This is another interesting question because um I feel like a lot of weapons are held back by their class, and I know the whole point of different classes is to have like a overarching gimmick. Like Splatanas, they have the swipes and the slashes, brushes, they swing paint really fast everywhere. Um,
Paintbrush.
oh, paper. Um, uh, Flatlings, they charge up and then fire a volley. So I feel like, if I were to make a weapon class, it would be like I need to think about this one. Maybe like
I was gonna say something like, "Oh, what if there was a weapon class with a shield?" And then I was like, "Oh,
Brella.
Brellas."
Brella's a really mediocre solution.
No, I don't think they're mediocre anymore. They've gotten a lot better with their new kits. But like, yeah, the other ones are not that good. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see a buff to recycle Brella,
Hopefully, that weapon is really, really fun to use. So I hope they could get a potential buff.
and then hopefully it gets a better kit.
Maybe like maybe like nah, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say like a pressure washer class. But I guess
I
there are
feel
already weapons
I feel like that
that
would
are
just
like
be
that.
like a sniper, a
It would
charger,
be
you know.
like another backline. Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, we don't. That just feels like a charger. It's hard to come up with like a new class, and I think that's why Nintendo hasn't come up with like a ton of new classes because a lot of weapons in Splatoon are based off of everyday objects. Like wiper is literally a windshield wiper. Stamper is literally a stamper. A Hydra is literally a fire hydrant. And that's cool. So it'll take a lot of thought to make a new weapon class, and then obviously they have to think about balancing what is this class's gimmick? What does it do that no other class does? Or what does it do that no other class does very well?
You remember the game Arms? This is
Yeah.
gonna sound crazy, right? And you know how we're not getting a second one?
Yeah.
I think we should take that and put it into Splatoon. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be like a special or whatever. I don't care. Just like put Arms in Splatoon because Arms was peak for the 5 minutes you would play it, but then it would. Oh my gosh! If you just had Arms on your Switch, I'm telling you, it is one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. Because you'd play a whole bunch of games, right, of Arms, and then you get tired of it, and then you couldn't play anything else. But it
Yeah.
was really fun while you played it. I don't know how they would translate that into like the Splatoon controls, but I feel like that would be something cool. Like a gauntlet class where you would stretch out with ink and like try to hit your opponents from far away with the gauntlets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That could be really cool. Like a gauntlet glass.
But like if I could like do anything, I had free reign to do whatever I want. It would probably I don't know if it would be in the dualies class or the platonic class, but like dually swords, like where you would get like some of the stuff from the tonic class, like the charge slash, but you'd also get like a roll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like that could be cool. Like dual Splatanas. I was also thinking of something kind of like that, where you have like dual blasters. Maybe if you fire, it could have really big splash radius. It covers a lot of space, but it has low range, like dapple range. But when you then it would get more range, a little bit more range, and it would have a slightly smaller blast radius, and they do more damage. Kind of like how the Glugas are a three shot, but when you go to Sentry, they're a two shot. I don't know if they go in blasters or dualies, or maybe it'd be a new dual blaster class, but it could be cool.
That could work. I think it would be in the dualies class because there is something like that with bucket. We have the sloshing machine where it has an area effect thing, right? I think instead of it getting like smaller and more range, it has a set amount of range, right? But when you roll, the fire rate goes up. Kind of like how Dowser dualies are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They'd have to find a balanced way to do that, obviously. But like, that's something cool. I think it would be really funny if anyone in the chat would want to ask a question. So put in like some questions in chat and maybe I'll ask it. While we're waiting for that, oh, I'm not streaming on Twitch. I'm on YouTube.
man. What's your YouTube?
It's beef, man. You
Ready?
want me to
Let
send you
me
the video?
check.
I could. Let me. Oh, let
I'll
me.
just okay, I see it. Funny because I'm like watching myself.
Yeah, it's weird for a little bit. Anyways, what was I talking about? We were stuff. People questions. What is like your goal for competitive?
What?
What do you want to get out of it? You know what I'm saying?
Out of competitive?
When you're like, okay, once you do this thing, you're like, okay, I can quit and I feel fulfilled with this. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. My main goal is to
Blow up
um
and act like I don't know nobody. I'm sorry.
you're fine. It's okay. My main goal is to do I don't know. This sounds like a really stupid goal, but I want to do with me and my team to do like really well in Ludi because when we first played in Ludi, we had a really disheartening experience because we didn't perform too well. And this was like we were fresh and new. We've been a team for like 2 months. And we just jumped into Ludi. Bad decision on me. I was a fresh captain. I'm sorry. But um it just felt really bad to lose and lose and lose. And next time Rudy comes around, I want to win a couple of sets. We can lose a couple of sets, but um, I want to just. I don't really have a set goal for when the end of competitive is gonna be. I just want to climb the ranks, see how far I can go. I don't have a time that I want to stop doing competitive. Obviously, Splatoon 3 is ending. Maybe Splatoon 4 could come out. I jump into that competitive scene. Um, I'm just gonna keep going for as long as I can and I want to. But if I had to plant myself and give myself a goal, I would say that I want to, I want to. This sounds bad. I want to get to a lot around like Div 6, Div 5, Div 6. You know, I want to be in the like mid level. Um, and I just want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel like I've experienced everything one can experience, doing scrims, doing tournaments, doing a lot of things, engaging with the community, um, you know, in just I just want to feel like when I'm done with competitive, I want to have a sense of fulfillment. I want to feel like I came, contributed to this community, made a name for myself and my team, and when I eventually lie it all to rest, I will feel accomplished, you know? Um, that's the main thing I want to do. I want to feel like like I've done something and have it like a tangible achievement, you know?
Hmm. That's completely understandable. So we got a question from a friend of mine named Noxie. If you were to design a new special, I feel like this is way easier. What would it be like?
A new special. Okay. A lot of the top tier specials in Splatoon are really long range specials that, Crab Tank, Zuka, Jet, uh, those are all really good specials, but they all are like long range specials. Um,
They
I
go
would
boom.
design, yeah, they go boom. And I want to give a really good special to like all those weapons that are close range oriented. Like Stamp is not cutting it, Splashdown's not cutting it. Um, so I would want to design like um like we have splat bombs and stuff. I think it'd be really cool to have like an upgraded bomb. Maybe like, a really powerful bomb that like frontliners they can rush in, they can plant somewhere and it'd be like completely invisible. Like not like it'd be like mines, except you don't get the ring around it. It'd be completely invisible, and then later, um, like maybe a couple of seconds later, it would only last for like 6, 7 seconds max before it just like blows up on its own. But it'd be kind of like a C4, where the frontliner could just blow it up at will. Obviously, it wouldn't explode immediately. That'd be broken, but it would take some time. Like maybe it'd give you like a couple of beeps and then you'd know like, oh, move out of the way. But if you don't listen to the beeps, boom, you get blown up. And I think this be really good because, let's say a skirmisher, they rush in, they're able to get behind the team, they pop their special, plant it, right? And regardless of if they die or not, they can produce a lot of paint behind the team. They can disrupt. They can, move everyone because a lot of the times skirmishers are like to distract and they kind of run in and die. So I feel like giving them something to do as they're respawning could be really fun. And we don't have to give it to just skirmishers. Obviously, we can give it to a slayer, blaster. We can give it to a sniper. Maybe a sniper planted on their feet, on their perch, and if someone pushes them, they blow it up. That'd be really cool for a charger to have more protection. Like especially like leader that likes to take its time charging. That could be really interesting because um it could add a layer of like paranoia, almost like I want to push them. They have a C4 there, you know, I don't know. I feel like that would be just add a. It would just be a really cool special, in my opinion. I love it.
Instead of it being a bomb, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna like shift it so it's a little bit more different. Like instead of it being a bomb, usually most salmonids are based off of specials. So like the big shot is based off of wave breaker. Uh,
Fly fish is based off missiles.
missiles. I don't play much salmon run, but you get what I'm saying. The one boss that I don't think is like has a special related to it is Ma in both Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. Now that I think of it. So instead of it just being a giant bomb, because I feel like that's boring, and no, that doesn't look cool. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Some of the best specials look cool. Like Splashdown looks cool. Reef Slider looks cool. Jet looks cool. Booyah Bomb looks cool. So you'd place it down. It does all of that, right? And when someone like it does, you don't set it off, right? Someone will trigger it, right? And when someone triggers it, it'll like go off a few times, or you'll see like teeth come up, and a shark, like a robotic shark, comes up and chomps them, like a maw would in Salmon Run. I feel like that could work. You know what I'm
That
saying?
could be awesome. Yeah.
So it would work where you would place it down somewhere, but you, yeah, you get what I'm saying. And there's like a ring you'd have to get out of, or if you threw a bomb in time, that would just cancel it entirely.
Hmm.
So it's totally dependent on if you have enough ink or not to throw a bomb.
That'd be really cool. I think that's a cool like add-on to what I was thinking.
So much.
Do we have any other questions from the chat?
Uh, no, no, no. What is it? I was gonna say something. All right, to all the teams getting their start and just getting into competitive, what would you like to say to them?
To all the teams who are getting the competitive or you've been in competitive just a little bit, um, I want you to always keep in mind the fact that comp is really not easy. I would know. I literally just like I was like, oh yeah, I'm in comp. Let me be a captain. Horrible decision. I have had to work a lot harder because picking up a team when I myself don't even know what I was doing wasn't really the best idea. If you want to jump right into being a captain and that's what you really want to do and you think you can work through the hardships, I would say go for it. Do whatever you want, essentially. Um, and just have fun. Always remember to have fun. And I know a lot of people are like, have fun, yeah, don't do it, yeah, but like actually, make sure you're having if you're going to scrim or tournament and game and you're just stressed out all the time, you're you're scared about what you're doing, you're like, oh no, I'm not playing well. Take a break, like be like, whoa, you know, chill. Because a lot of my good friends in the competitive community, they tell me, oh yeah, whenever I'm playing in a big scrim and I feel like super duper nervous, I don't play too well, but like when I'm not trying, I'm doing really good. And I think that's part of it. When you aren't, you know, hyper fixating on all the little things you have to keep track of and do, it makes playing much more relaxed, which allows you to do more. Because if I'm like, oh yeah, oh wait, yeah, I should probably throw a bomb here. Maybe I should conserve my ink. I'm had my special up soon. When are we gonna push in? I'm thinking about all of these things, and then a skirmisher flanks and kills me. I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings. Just take a minute, and relax because competitive inside and outside of gameplay is always going to be stressful. Managing the times is always going to be stressful, but just take it one step at a time because in this community, you aren't you don't have to catch up to anybody. You can go really, really slowly and you don't improve very quickly. And that's fine. You can move really quickly, be really good, and that's fine. But the best way to get better is to, assess what you're doing wrong and fix it. Don't be like, oh yeah, overextended. And you're like, okay, cool. And then the next game, you overextend because you didn't really care. One thing that my team likes to do sometimes is when we notice a problem, we're like, okay, let's hop into an open and let's work on not doing this. Like one of my players, um, they uh they didn't throw out a fizzy when they could have thrown out a fizzy and it would have been really influential. So we played a game. We're like, okay, we remind them consistently, use your fizzy. And then now you're using the fizzies really regularly. Because if you don't take the steps to fix what you're doing wrong, you won't see improvement very quickly.
That, that was good. That was good advice. For as long as I've been playing, I could not give out good advice like that. Such a silly thing. But I do have a piece of advice. I think you should try and just be a free agent for a bit. Not like, and like it's okay because I know I like playing with teams. I'm a free agent right now and I'm playing with a whole bunch of teams. But like, don't tie yourself down. Don't feel like you'd have to find a team immediately. Just like go around, sub for people, uh, pick up for people. Just do a whole bunch of that stuff. Get to know the community a little bit more, because that could greatly help you meet people and help you get better because you're meeting people and those people can help you out obviously. So that's my advice personally.
hmm And I think that that's good advice because it's always good to um like I would if I could go back in time and be a free agent or just join a team instead of being a captain, I 110% would have. But I really wouldn't because I'm happy where I'm at with my team. And, you know, just thinking that if I joined another team or became free agent, I wouldn't have met these people, it's kind of scary. So I wouldn't. But like if I let's say, if I could go back in time and tell my past self like, yo, don't do this. It's gonna be a better experience if you do it this way, I would. But I wouldn't go back in time and not do it.
That's fair.
But yeah. And another piece of advice, don't be afraid to make mistakes, Like don't be afraid to um test things out and just see what works for you. And, you know, not everything is gonna feel super duper great, but if comp is really what you want to do and it's what you really want to do and you're like, I love comp, I love the people that are here, then yeah, you should always go for comp and try your very, very hardest
Also,
because
don't be pessimistic on yourself, right? If you don't do well in one game, in a couple of games in a row, don't be like, "Oh my gosh, I suck at this game." You're probably just having a bad day and you just need to take a break for a bit. Step away from the game if needed and just relax, cuz you're not going to play better if you're hating on yourself. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get that because when I first started, I would always be like, "Oh my God, I'm not good." Like after a really downing scrim or something, we lost the whole thing. It just felt really, really bad. I'd be like, I'm not good. Maybe I shouldn't play comp. Maybe this isn't for me. Never do that, ever. If you feel like you're not at the level wanna be, you have to put in the work. There's nothing you can do and just be great at immediately. You can put in, you know, a lot of work and it feels like you're not getting anywhere. And I know that feeling all too well. Um, but I remember first when I was trying to get into S rank, I was like, oh my God, this is so hard. I lost every rank of battle. I'm like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I give up. And then I came back a couple of weeks later and I tried to get back into S and I flew right into it. And I was like, okay, well, that wasn't that bad. What was I whining about earlier? And it's because I had improved. I had gotten better, partially thanks to comp and doing scrims and learning a lot of things. But imagine I gave up and gave up forever. I wouldn't be in S rank and now past S rank, And even if you want to take a break, it's always good to take a break. If you have a game that's really bad, take a break, chill. If you're burnt out, take a break, chill, because this community will always be here for you. I always tell my teammates yo, if anything happens, you're I need to stop playing comp. You need to take a couple of days off, a week off sometimes. Um, you're always free to do that. Just let me know first. How long do you think you're gonna be out? You can always go out for longer because we're always gonna be waiting for you. We are in no rush to do anything. We're here to have fun. We're here to grow together. This goes for everyone in the community. We're all here to grow together, get better together. Um, so take your time. Don't rush into anything. Be the best you can be. So yeah,
Uh, That was pretty good. You said it better than me. Don't don't give up. Also, don't if you prefer to play sticks, don't let anyone convince you to play motion controls. Now, yes, it I'm going to tell you straight up like this, it is objectively better. But if you prefer playing away, don't let anyone tell you how to play the game the way that makes you have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like I said this before. I play sticks, and that's just how I enjoy playing the game.
yeah, I get that. Um, because even though everyone's like, oh yeah, sticks is bad and motion's way better. Um, I used to be a sticks player for a little bit. I used to be a sticks charger, and I wasn't very good, right? But it's also partially because I was thrown off sticks very quickly. A lot of people like sticks is bad, switch to motion, and I gave in. I switched to motion, and I'm no longer a sticks charger. But just because I was bad then and I switched to motion doesn't mean that everyone who's playing sticks charger has to switch to motion. Because switching to motion is a jump. Like when I went to motion, I was so bad. It threw me back a bit, and I had to work back to the level I was at, and then eventually get past that level. So for anyone who's on sticks and they really just don't want to go to motion, but everyone around them is pressuring them to go on motion, don't do it. Play how you want to play. Because at the end of the day, it's your Switch, it's your competitive experience, not theirs. And yeah, they want you to get better, but you know, it's you're doing this for you. You're not doing this for anybody else. I wouldn't I hopefully you're somebody isn't telling you play competitive. I need you to only play comp, right? Um Hopefully you're doing this for you, your own enjoyment, your own entertainment, and doing this for what you like and want to do. Um, so yeah, you're doing this for yourself. And if you want to be a stick charger, have fun while you're at it.
All right. I'm going to end off the interview with a kind of not deep, but like interesting question. It'll get you thinking.
Mhm.
How do you think the competitive community can improve?
Well, this community isn't without its flaws, obviously. I think we touched on a question similar to this one, like how can like it be improved weapon wise with the whole banning of screen or not screen, pencil.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but just like in general, I feel like for me, when I was getting into competitive, there's no real like tutorial. Like, here's what's up. You have to know someone who's been in competitive or has gone through that hard stage of figuring out what the heck do you do? Because I jumped into comp. I was a captain. I made the team server. I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I was like, okay, wait, how do I actually recruit? Wait a minute. It's and then it was a whole ordeal. I had to DM my friends that were in competitive, and they were new to comp too. They didn't know exactly what to do. They're like, "Okay, you can go to this server, go to this server, do this, do that," and it was just kind of like a really clunky experience in the beginning. And there are plenty of servers and plenty of ways to do certain things. Um, but I wish there was more of a concrete way to get into competitive, especially for new players. I know there's like low ink and stuff, but I feel like Div 11s, Div 10s, and yeah, I'm Div 9. You know, I haven't gone that far. Um, it's just it's just kind of hard, especially because let's say you're a Div 11 team, you have no coach, you don't have any real connections in the community. You kind of just screaming people you find. You know, it kind of feels like you don't know what you're doing because you don't. And it doesn't, and it kind of feels like, how do you know what you're doing? There's a lot of stuff that comes with experience, but there's also a lot of stuff also, um, that also comes with, you know, just like people telling you. And for me, jumping into being a captain straight away, it was just a really clunky experience. Like at one time, I had like four coaches because I was like asking people, "Hey, can you coach me? Can you coach me?" And then I was like, wait, I have four coaches," and it was like, "Okay, we're trying to figure this out. I don't have four coaches anymore." But it was just a whole ordeal. So one thing, I don't know how exactly we would implement this. Maybe like we like maybe someone or maybe even me creates a server that's just like 110% for newer players to get them like, you know,
Started.
immersed into competitive successfully. And just so they have the resources and tools and information to do what they want to do. Because you know, I was like, okay, yeah, we're in comp, but like, you know, we're supposed to be doing tournaments. How do we do tournaments? You know, I barely knew how to get a scrim at the time. It was just a whole thing. Um, so yeah, that whole confusion probably caused by me because I jumped into being a captain. You know, I just wish I could have alleviated it or there's a way to alleviate it or at least help ease it a little bit better. So that's the one change I would make to the community. If I could just snap my fingers and make a change. Obviously that takes work, but um yeah, that's one thing I would do if I could.
That's fair. I'd like to see like a tournament for like newly formed teams.
Yeah, like I guess there's already spawning grounds and stuff, but maybe maybe more tournaments for like strictly Div 11s, Div 10s,
Yeah,
just
that's
to
what
like
people who have not played tournaments at all.
yeah, like baby's first tournament or something. That's a really dumb name, but I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah. I know I want to try to host my own tournament, but I don't think I have enough experience in the community to do that right now. So,
Yeah, I get that. Because one of my friends who has been in comp like maybe a couple of months longer than me. They're like they help run a tournament, but even then, they've told me themselves that the tournaments that they run are like super duper clunky and stuff because they don't know, and the people who help them are also like around their level of experience, don't know exactly what they're doing. And it leads to their tournaments being really kind of wonky, and then obviously people will be like, "Oh yeah, don't play this tournament. It's kind of wonky. It's kind of weird," and then that discredits what they're doing because they're really trying their best to provide a space for people like them or teams that really need support to be able to compete in tournaments without feeling like, oh my God, we shouldn't be competing. We can't do anything good. We're super duper new. Um, like that's one that's one reason I wish I didn't do the off the bat when my team was like 2 months old. Um, because we got wrecked and it's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do tournaments for a while. And obviously we've done tournaments since and it's gone way better. But it's just been a whole thing. So yeah, that's the one thing I would say.
Well, Swaggy, thank you for joining me. If if you want to reach me, go to It's Beefman on Twitter /X. I don't care. You're not gonna tell me what to call the website. I'm gonna call it Twitter. You're not gonna stop me. If you want to reach Swaggy, you want to go ahead and shout your own socials up.
You can
Anything?
go to you can go to at swaggy underscore SPL on Twitter or X. If you wanna see me. I haven't really put anything up on there. I will coming in the coming months. But yeah. So yeah, thank you, B, for having me and doing this interview. It's been great. I really appreciate it.
I will now be going into your server and chilling until world starts.
Okay. All right then. I have to go. I'll see you later.
Peace out. Thank you for joining me, and
Of course.
it was awesome having you.
Same here.
Bye.